Good evening and thank you for joining us on CoreTV News at 4. I am Ebolomo Oguntoye. Suicide bombers early on Saturday morning detonated bombs at two separate locations in Maiduguri, the Borno state capital. According to the report, the first one occurred around the office of the DSS in Maiduguri, an area just few meters to the popular Borno Express bus terminal. According to eyewitnesses, the suicide bomber rode in a tricycle as a passenger and defused the bomb. Casualty figure is still unknown, but security forces have cordoned off the area. The second explosion was said to have gone off by PHCN office near another bus terminal, Adamawa Sunshine Express, around the Monday market. Details of casualty could not be ascertained as at the time of filing the report. There are indications that military checkpoints might return to major highways in and around the Federal Capital Territory. This follows the sighting of truckloads of soldiers at the Yaya-Maraba axis of the Kefi-Abuja highway on Friday afternoon. The police who few days ago took over checkpoints in Abuja have, however, been carrying out the usual stop and search operations on the highways. Pius Samuel reports that traffic was still light as the military and the police were putting final touches to what appears to be preparation for handover.
It is only a few weeks after military checkpoints were dismantled and soldiers ordered out of highways across the country. Residents of some of the areas which hitherto had military presence say the presidential order brought succor to the heavy traffic lockdown usually experienced along the expressway. Before now, they spend hours on their way to work, but now they leave home as they wish and still get to their destination on time. Felicia is on her way out at 11:57 a.m. and she told CoreTV why she is leaving home at the time.
When you wake up 7 o'clock, before you get to work, it will be 9:30, 10 o'clock. But now, at least 30 minutes on the road or 20 minutes, I think it's better now.
For many commercial motorcyclists, the decision to dismantle checkpoints is a good one. They clearly don't want the military back on the road because of the effect on their operations.
Now they make money past the more than that. Sometimes they stop us. Sometimes they will allow us pass myself. No, come back.
Before now, road safety personnel do assist in ensuring that motorists adhere to traffic rules despite the military roadblock. Now that the roads are free, these men are more relaxed on the highway. There is no doubt that motorists and commuters are happy that they can move in and out of the city center without much stress. But in the midst of renewed Boko Haram activities, it appears like the soldiers are bracing to return to their previous positions. CoreTV News crew sighted these trucks loaded with soldiers and road barricades near what used to be a military checkpoint on the Kefi-Abuja highway. The trucks headed straight for the spot which is now occupied by policemen, and it looks like the soldiers are ready to take over. And as soon as the military personnel showed up, the traffic logjam started to build up. On sighting the military trucks, some road users share their views on the development. Some say the soldiers should not be allowed to come back, while others say it's only the military that can contain Boko Haram.
As regards to the military being back on the checking point, I don't like it. Reason being that it poses more risk to us staying here, because most times I imagine when the hold-up is that much and there happens to be a sudden alarm, it won't be easy on people here. And the people here are suffering a lot. And based on the way they are suffering, and for them to come back again, why they are absent for some time now has eased up the people's pain and misery within the neighborhood. For them to come back, I don't think is the right direction by the government, allowing them to come back.
It was very free, but when the army, the police came to the road, I saw that the hold-up is a bit building up. Like, for the sake of those who are going to work in the morning, they can actually open the road for the sake of those who are going to the work in the morning. Then After everything, they can start their checkpoint. That is what I feel about the route for now.
For now, Nigerians are only hopeful that government will take the issue of security more seriously. With the removal of the military checkpoints around Maraba-Yanya Expressway, commuters and people that live around this axis have a cause to smile because the roads are now free. But as the police take charge of manning the highways, Nigerians are only hopeful that the police will live up to expectations in protecting the lives and properties of the citizenry in the face of daunting security threats posed by Boko Haram sect. Pius Samuel, CoreTV News, Abuja.
Reports reaching us says Boko Haram militants have taken over the highway linking Maiduguri and Damaturu, capitals of Borno and Yobe states respectively. A police officer stationed in one of the villages along the highway told journalists that travelers are being asked to return as the terrorists have taken over the road between Benishek, a town 85 kilometers away from Maiduguri, and Ngamdu, 35 kilometers away from Damaturu. The officer, who spoke that his identity be protected for security reasons, said the terrorists had attacked Ndamgo village and killed 10 persons there. Soldiers are reported to be moving towards Benishek while asking motorists to return until the road is cleared. There is no security checkpoint between Benishek and Ngamdu, which is about 25 kilometers stretch of road. President Muhammadu Buhari will only receive 50% of the salary paid his predecessor. The president's decision to take a 50% pay cut was conveyed to the office of the secretary to the government of the Federation by the permanent secretary of the State House, Nebulisa Imodi. The current annual remuneration of the President of Nigeria, as published by the Revenue Mobilization Allocation and Fiscal Commission, is 14,058,820 naira. Vice President Yemi Osinbajo has similarly given up half of his official remuneration. The Labour Party has flayed state governors for blackmailing President Muhammadu Buhari to release over 700 billion naira bailout to them, saying the actions set a bad precedent and will encourage governors to steal more. The Labour Party National Chairman Alhaji Abdulkadri Abdulsalam told journalists in Abuja that the disadvantages of the bailout far outweighs its benefit. It says although Buhari came with the promise of change, it seems he has not learned from the mistakes of previous administrations, as what is happening now is a resemblance of what happened during the administration of former President Olusegun Obasanjo, when the state governors prevailed on him to bastardize the local government system and the local government funds were diverted to personal use of the governors. Abdulsalam added that when former President Goodluck Jonathan assumed office, the governors also deceived him to carry out certain policies and projects, but at the end disappointed him. It says the government claimed the bailout were loans, but was silent on conditions the loans were given, as well as the mode and processes of the repayment. He added that the president has started on a bad note and Nigerians will suffer for it. A federal high court in Abuja has granted former Adamawa State Governor Murtala Nyako and his son Abdulaziz Nyako bail in the sum of 350 million naira each. Delivering a ruling on the bail application, Justice Evo Chukwu ordered the accused persons to produce 2 surety each with a landed property in Abuja. The court further said that in the alternative, the ex-governor and other accused persons can provide 1 surety each who is a director in any federal government establishment and has a landed property within the court jurisdiction. Justice Chukwu also directed them to deposit their international passport with the court registrar with 2 recent passport photographs. It subsequently adjourned the case till September 30, October 20 and 23 for the trial. EFCC arraigned the accused persons on a 37-count charge bordering on laundering public funds in excess of 40 billion naira.
The ex-governor Nyako, his son and other accused persons walked out of court after their bail appeal was granted. But they are to appear at the Federal High Court in Abuja on the next adjourned date to face charges leveled against them by the EFCC. Before Justice Chukwu granted the accused bail, The prosecution counsel, Rotimi Jacobs, had opposed the application on the grounds that the accused persons will jump bail.
Grant or refusal of bail is purely at the discretion of the judge. So, and one case cannot be an authority for the other. So, once it's at the discretion of the court, the prosecution and parties are bound by that discretion. So, that is the way His Lordship sees it, and we are bound by it. Well, what is important is for them to be around, to face their trial. Once they are around, there is no problem.
Do you have the conviction that they will be around?
Well, we have laid the file before the court, but in His Lordship's wisdom, he said they will be around.
Nyako's lawyer, Kanu Agabi, assured the court that the accused will not jump, as he pleaded the court to grant them bail on liberal terms. Justice Chukwu granted his wish and admitted each of the accused persons bail in the sum of 350 million naira. At the end of the hearing, the defense counsel was not prepared to speak. Nyako too declined comment, even though he muttered a few words.
Free on bail.
Confirm. Thank you.
Justice Chukwu was silent on where the ex-governor and his fellow accused persons will be remanded, pending when they will meet their bail conditions. However, the accused persons were taken away by the EFCC officials at the end of the ruling.
The Legal Practitioners Privileges Committee has conferred the award of Senior Advocate of Nigeria on 21 lawyers out of 124 that applied. The Chief Registrar of the Supreme Court, Ahmed Gambo, announced the names of the awardees at a news conference in Abuja. He said out of the 124 applications received, 18 were selected under the category of advocate, while 3 were selected from the academic category. The new SANs will be sworn in on September 21st by the Chief Justice of Nigeria, Justice Mahmood Mohammed.
Esquire, Benson Spolu Nwanko Esquire, Joseph Sunday Bamiboye Esquire, Patrick Ocheja Okolo Esquire, Professor Maxwell Gidado Esquire, Aderebe Adedeji Esquire, Emmanuel Chinwe Aguma Esquire, Dr. Muiz Adeyemi Banire Esquire, Emeka Benson Etiaba Esquire, Abimbola Ibironke Akerodu Esquire, Olumiwa Akimboro Esquire, Godi Uche Esquire, Okechiku Valentine Obi Esquire, Kainde Kolawale Elijah Esquire, Professor Mol Apol Oborimege Odorimbe Esquire, Dr. Oladipo Olumide Olanipeku Esquire. These are the list of the successful applicants for the year 2015. The swearing in of the newly appointed Senior Advocate of Nigeria will take place on the 21st day of September 2015 at a special court session to mark the beginning of 2015-2016 legal year of the Supreme Court.
The Independent National Electoral Commission has fixed dates for gubernatorial elections in Kogi and Bayelsa states. It says the Kogi elections would hold on November 21st, while that of Bayelsa is fixed for December 5. INEC, however, noted in a statement that formal notices would be issued on or before August 23rd and September 5th for the two states. It's also indicated that campaigns would begin on July 24 in Kogi State and end on November 19, while in Bayelsa it would commence on September 6 and terminate on December 3. INEC wants parties participating in the two elections to submit the names and personnel details of their candidates before November 14th for Kogi State and December 7th for Bayelsa State. It's the CoreTV News at 4. We'll take a break and return with more reports. Don't go away.
Black Maria is to carry criminals, trading looters that are in government today, not a poor people.
We'll bring to you divergent views.
You know my position about his level of competence or otherwise.
News making the headlines.
I didn't go to school so that people can intimidate me with their ideas, no.
Sometimes it gets confrontation.
If you become governor, you're going to bring back Okada. You will bring back the marketman back on the streets.
On Core Digest.
Stop making innuendos.
Every weekday. We'll bring all of these together and take them to the court of public opinion.
Everybody has your right in Nigeria. Right?
Where you are the judge.
Is one of the 5 pillars of Islam. It is the month where the Holy Quran was first sent down to the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. During this month, Muslims all around the world must fast. They do not eat or drink between sunrise and sunset, and it is obligatory on all Muslims if they are physically and mentally sound, except for the traveler, elderly, pregnant, menstruating, or chronically ill. Whoever cannot fast, it is their duty to feed the poor if they have the financial ability. It is not only abstinence from food and drink, but also a test for patience in refraining from evil actions, thoughts and words. It is a test to demonstrate submission to Allah, God, and a way to keep the mind and body focused on good deeds and attaining self-discipline. At night, Muslims perform extra prayers in addition to the 5 daily prescribed prayers. It is also a requirement that Muslims give charity to the poor by the end of Ramadan. The rewards for good actions are multiplied in this month, and this is why it is encouraged to reassess our actions, make beneficial use of our time, do extra prayers, read the Quran, and ask for forgiveness so that we may attain paradise through Allah's mercy, insha'Allah.
Many thanks for being there with us, and for more on CoreTV News and other information, you can visit our social media platforms on Facebook, facebook.com/CoreTV News, our Twitter handle at CoreTV News NG, YouTube, youtube.com/CoreTV, leave a space the news. The Kwara State government is set to partner with National Health Insurance Scheme in ensuring that the state-run community health insurance scheme hits 1 million enrollment by the year 2019. The state's governor, Abdul Fattah Ahmed, gave this indication when the leadership of the National Health Insurance Scheme paid him a courtesy visit at the government house. Rashid has more.
Governor Ahmed, speaking, says the state is ready to team up with health insurance scheme in driving universal health coverage throughout health insurance sector as a model for the country. Governor Ahmed also identified poor database system management as hindrance to planning in all sectors, particularly in qualitative healthcare delivery, stressing the need for Nigeria to employ pragmatic approach to planning and data collection strategies in order to create a realizable impact in the country's health sector.
Impact on its productivity levels, it must take the issue of health very seriously. And I agree with him totally that there is so much lip service on healthcare delivery system in Nigeria. We hear all sorts of slogans here and there. Free healthcare for this, free healthcare for that. But in true sense, the policies which have largely been on lip service have not been supported with the desirable levels of input from the various stakeholders, so that the impact has not been felt in truly seeing our health care service delivery getting us to desirable levels. This is a very welcome development for us, and we'll be very, very receptive in putting our heads together to ensuring that what can be done to improve accessibility to our people. Whatever requires to be done will be supported by the state government in improving accessibility to the good people of our state.
The acting executive secretary of NHIS, Femi Akingbade, said the fact that the state has a structured scheme on ground makes it expedient for the NHIS to flag off its primary school health insurance pilot scheme in the state. The executive secretary said NHIS is also willing to partner with the Kwara State government in ensuring that the community healthcare delivery enjoys sustainable flow of funding, especially as the present funding partners would not fund the scheme in perpetuity.
We are bringing to the state today what we call the state-supported social health insurance program. With the state-supported social health insurance program, we are trying to allay the fears of the states that you don't need to bring your money to the center. What we are looking out for is health coverage for all Nigerians, and thereby we are asking the states to set up their own agencies, to run their own health programs, to develop their own packages, because they know the peculiarities of the people of their states and also the needs of the people of their states. What NHIS will come up for, one is to be able to join the states in crafting a technical path for the state to be able to implement this state-supported social health insurance program.
National health insurance scheme may not be new in Nigeria, but its coverage is what Nigerians are saying should be extended to all and sundry. Rashid, CoreTV News, Ilorin.
Oil spillage in Ohaji Egbema, one of the oil-producing communities in Imo State, southeast Nigeria, has been subjected its locals to hardship as most of their valuables were destroyed. Residents of the area said they can't wait to see the government come to their aid with necessary relief materials. Our correspondent Ajibade Awufeso has details.
The visit to the area by the Deputy Governor of Imo State, Eze Madumere, shows a deplorable condition. The people, who are mostly farmers and fishermen, said they have nothing left as the only water they rely on has been greatly devastated.
Information that we received, to find the situation, the facts on the ground. And I have seen is believing. Not only the water that is at this basin, I went to a couple of sites, and I went coming here. I saw that the river is polluted. I saw evidence of crude oil floating all over the place. That is an evidence. We should remain calm and channel all your issues through the government, and we must get it right.
Eze Madumere assures the entire community of rapid response by the government to ensure they are comforted. Prince Okafo, the Managing Director, Imo State Oil Producing Area Development Commission, said the ultimate need of the people at this moment is potable water, and the commission is working round the clock to ensure the people get that.
And we still need to do more. We still need to provide more potable water for people, because we can't achieve all this in this short while. But I also want to say that 4 days ago, that some of the what we call the monopump in some communities around this place that were damaged, the monopump were damaged. So we have sent in our local engineer to go there and fix some of them. I think by now some of them will be working by now. I mean, functional one, but I can't tell you we have not sunk any new borehole within these 10 days.
Some of the residents said the spillage was as a result of an explosion of one of the pipelines somewhere around River State. They suspect the activities of vandals around the axis.
Now that pollution, that is the fire we are born for Ibocha side. Now it comes spoil our water here. Now it come damage everything, even fish, they die. Even the people who get fish pond here, no one they kill again, the fish they die. So that is why we invite you people to come and see it. I think no anything we they take here. No drinking water. No drinking water. My fish show, my everything.
All right. Since that 4 or 5 days now, there's no single fish out of 120,000 worth of fishes. All have died. please, we need assistance and to help us.
The water bodies surrounding the community is the major source of livelihood to most of them. And these, they said, have been taken over by crude oil spillage, killing all the fishes and rendering the water useless to both plants and animals, calling for a quick fix solution from the government. Ajibade Awofeso, CoreTV News, Owerri.
Meanwhile, the unfinished 230,000 megawatt power plant project at Ohaji Egbema, Imo State, Southeast Nigeria, is to be revisited and completed. This is the outcome of the meeting Governor Rocha Sokorocha held with the contractor and the Niger Delta Power Holding Company. Again, our correspondent Ajibode Awofeso brings us the details.
In a meeting with Governor Rocha Sokorocha, the Niger Delta Power Holding Company and Rush Company, which are the two parties handling the project, at some point traded blames with each other over the delay in executing the project. However, Governor Rocha's acting on behalf of the federal government asked the two parties to sheath their swords and channel the way forward.
So I want to make an appeal, that's exactly where I am now, to find out from you the quick solution. Because then what can we do immediate to stop this problem rather than accusing figures habitually? I'd like to know what is the solution and what.
The MD Rush Company, in response to the governor, says they are ready to get back to work if those issues hindering them, such as insecurity and community challenge, are resolved. He called on a speedy resolution of the death of two of his men in the course of duty, which is still pending in the court.
Of the 173 million, we have roughly 30%, which is not released. 70% therefore has been paid out. Okay. Now,
The NDPHC representative on his part suggests that a subcontractor be brought in to assist in completing the project, considering that 70% of the total cost has been paid out.
Project is being held up. And what we have agreed to do is to do something from now on. Let us just stop the blame game. Whatever happened in the past, let's think about what to do to complete this, because Nigerians need life, and this business can no longer continue. What the NDPHC has done in recent times, from our discussion with Ross, is that we have agreed to sublet this contract. We will get a subcontractor, and that was what I was trying to point out initially. In my opinion, I think Ross should allow the subcontractor into this contract to assist them in getting this accomplished.
At the end of the meeting, it was agreed that work should commence at the site extensively next month and to be completed within the next 10 months, all things being equal.
Edo State Governor Adams Oshiomhole on Friday alleged that former President Goodluck Jonathan and his Minister of Finance, Dr. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, jointly denied his state about 10 billion naira in 4 years. He said the sum was an estimate of what could have accrued to his state if the past administration had been faithful in remitting taxes paid by the Nigerian Liquefied Natural Gas Company and Shell Petroleum Development Company of Nigeria into the Consolidated Federation account, the same way the present administration did. Oshiomhole spoke with pressmen shortly after he and former governor of Rivers State, Rotimi Amechi, met behind closed doors with President Muhammadu Buhari inside the presidential villa, Abuja. The governor claimed that if the $1.6 billion NLNG tax that Buhari used as bailout for states had come during the Jonathan administration, it would have gone the same way it has been going without states benefiting. On the clamor for increase in national minimum wage, Oshiomhole said he believed strongly that workers, especially those in the public sector, are underpaid.
We are up to date in payment of salaries because I have to consciously decide who I can afford not to pay. Because it's about your priority. Now, we have had to stop overhead to everybody, including the governor's office.
And so if I can stop overhead to my office, I'm in a moral ground to stop overhead to any local government chairman. I mean, for clarity, Edo State government is not indebted to any worker. We are up to date in our salary obligations.
The Nigeria Labour Congress has asked President Muhammadu Buhari to approve the recommendation of the Federal Medical Center Owerri Board, which seeks to investigate allegations of corruption leveled against the Chief Medical Director, Angela Uwakwem, to put an end to the industrial conflict in the hospital. The Congress has pleaded with Buhari to intervene in the impasse. The health workers have been on strike for about 6 weeks over alleged high-handedness of the management and the proposed public-private partnership in the medical center. In a letter signed by the NLC President Ayuba Waba and addressed to the President on Friday, the organized labor accused the Permanent Secretary of the Federal Ministry of Health, Linus Awute, of refusing to bring the attention of the Management Board's resolution to the notice of the President. According to the union, the board recommended that the medical director and other top management should proceed on leave to pave way for a thorough investigation into the matter. And now to business. Volkswagen is to start operations again in Nigeria after years of suspending vehicle assembly operations. The firm unveiled brand new Jetta, CC and Amarok models to kickstart full operations in Nigeria, stating its commitment to provide customers, particularly Nigerians, with the right and best choices while ensuring that the Nigerian automobile market becomes viable. The official representative of Volkswagen in Nigeria, Stallion Group, said that it would continue to work harder to make sure that cars become affordable in Nigeria. Speaking at the event, chairman of Stallion Group, Sunil Vaswani, said, in his words, "We are immensely pleased to bring back the proud legacy of Nigeria automobile industry, the Volkswagen brand that once was indigenously produced at the same premises." We'll take another break now and we'll return with stories from outside Nigeria.
This is what the people are saying.
You don't run a big economy with generator. They need to do more in terms of energy and power.
Many things to do for this Nigeria about lights, water, and new TT.
For Nigerians that are not gullible, we know that good laws have done nothing good for this country.
Buhari won the election convincingly.
Talk to our husband that you should keep promise about what you said, and because people are watching you, you know, another election is coming.
Because some people will stand for Yoruba land, will be strong man, you don't die.
This nation is moving forward. The best is going to take place.
The people giving voice to the voiceless.
At least 6 people have been killed and 11 others wounded after a series of attacks in southern Thailand's border region with Malaysia. The dead included 3 women who were killed when a motorcycle bomb exploded late Friday night near a karaoke bar in the border town of Padang Besa. According to police official Niyom Dumla Ayad, 3 other people were hurt and the explosion damaged the bar, nearby houses, cars and motorcycles. More than 5,000 people in the Thailand's southernmost provinces have been killed since a separatist uprising erupted in 2004 in the largely Malay Muslim south. The fighters have not issued specific demands but are generally believed to be fighting for an independent state. Thai border towns have a reputation for nightlife and the attacks came during the Muslim holy month of Ramadan. Police Colonel Konrad Suwanakam said attackers suspected to be separatists also threw giant firecrackers at the restaurant and set fire to 2 other shops in Songhai Kolok, leaving 8 people wounded. Eurozone finance chiefs are gathering in Brussels for a meeting that could decide whether new Greek proposals are sufficient to secure a third bailout and prevent a possible Eurozone exit. Greece's parliament overnight backed PM Alexis Tsipras's new package, but he faced anger from some in his own party for proposing measures that were rejected in a referendum last Sunday. Greece's creditors gave an initially positive reaction to the plans, but a bailout agreement is far from certain. The creditors, the European Commission, European Central Bank and International Monetary Fund have sent a first joint assessment to the Eurozone ministers. Under certain conditions, they jointly see the proposals as a basis for negotiation, and EU official told Reuters. Greece is asking creditors for 55.5 billion to cover Greece's debt until 2018, but the amount of the new bailout could reach 74 billion as Greece is seeking a restructuring of its massive debt, which it says is unsustainable. After multiple meetings in recent weeks, Saturday's meeting of Eurozone finance ministers could be the one that really matters. They will have to decide whether the new package of proposals from the Greek government is sufficiently detailed to now allow formal talks on a third bailout to begin. Powerful typhoon Chanhem has made landfall along the coast of China's eastern Zhejiang province. Almost 1 million people have been evacuated from coastal areas in anticipation of the typhoon carrying wind speeds of 173 kilometers per hour. Chanhem's path is expected to take its south of Shanghai later on Saturday. The storm left 5 people dead in the Philippines earlier in the week. It also hit Taiwan and Japan, uprooting trees and injuring several people. Chanhem first hit Zhejiang province on an island near the city of Ningbo at around 1640. The National Meteorological Center said there were no immediate reports of damage or casualties. A China Central Television reporter was shown broadcasting knee-deep in a flooded street. The BBC's John Sudworth in Shanghai says more than 400 flights have been cancelled there along a number of public events, and the government has told people they should stay at home. The trial of a former archbishop charged with child sex offenses has been adjourned after the defendant fell ill hours before he was due to appear in court at the Vatican. Joseph Wesolowski, 66, is accused of paying for sex with children in the Dominican Republic from 2008 to 2013. He's been treated in intensive care for an unspecified illness. Wesolowski is the first high-ranking Catholic to stand trial in the Vatican on sex abuse charges. He has already been found guilty by a special church tribunal and defrocked. His case is seen as a test of Pope Francis' push to tackle sex offenders. Wesolowski, who is originally from Poland, had been recalled from his role as the Vatican's envoy to the Dominican Republic in 2013 after allegations surfaced accusing him of abusing boys there. He is also charged with possession of child pornography. If convicted, he could face between 6 and 10 years in a Vatican jail. Pope Francis has overhauled the Vatican's justice system to allow bishops to be tried in the papal state after the church was accused of not doing enough to tackle sex crimes against children. And now to sports. Newcastle United assigned midfielder Jorginho Wijnaldum in a £14.5 million deal. Netherlands international Wijnaldum becomes the first arrival under head coach Steve McLaren. The fee for the 24-year-old is the biggest single amount paid for a player during the 8-year reign of Newcastle owner Mike Ashley. Rotterdam-born Wijnaldum, who has been at PSV since 2011, has signed a 5-year contract at St. James Park. He has been capped 13 times by the Netherlands and scored his country's third goal in their 3-0 win over Brazil to finish third at the 2014 World Cup finals. Jordan Spieth says he has taken a big step forward in his preparations for next week's Open Championship after an improved performance in the second round of the John Deere Classic. The reigning Masters and U.S. Open champion shot a 7 under par 64 to move into contention in Illinois. He says he's made a big step forward after moving to within 5 shots of leader Justin Thomas. The 21-year-old hopes to win his 3rd consecutive major title at St. Andrews. Thomas, 22, shot a 4 under par 67 to take a 1-shot lead overall. Johnson Warner and Tom Gillis are a shot back. Spieth took time off after his U.S. Open win at Chambers Bay last month and admitted to feeling rusty after a level par opening round of 71. Serena Williams has beaten Spain's Gabriel Muguruza to win Wimbledon for the 6th time and complete the Serena Slam of holding all 4 major titles. The 33-year-old American won 6-4, 6-4 on center court to claim a 21st Grand Slam title and 3rd of 2015. Williams withstood a late fight back from 20th seed Muguruza to come through in 1 hour 23 minutes. She will head to the U.S. Open next month, aiming to complete the first calendar year Grand Slam of her career. Such a wonderful lady that is. And on that note, we wrap up the news at 4. Many thanks for watching. I am Ebolomo Oguntoye.